We are here to talk about the Mr. McMahon documentary that's on Netflix. We're going to break down episode 1 for you. Chuck, you were just giving a rundown of what it was all about. Go ahead and just give us a synopsis overall what this first episode was about.
Episode 1 was called Junior. And in Junior, Vince McMahon follows in his father's footsteps and takes the family business from an independent wrestling circuit to mainstream sports entertainment.
This was a good episode, man. Solid. It really gave me a visual of the cutthroatness of Vince McMahon on the hell with the territories. I don't care. But he was like that mob boss who didn't care. Yeah. Oh, you selling on 8 Mile? I'm selling on 7 Mile. They all my miles. Every mile is my mile. That was some boss shit. Ryan, your thoughts, man?
Man, this first episode made me respect Vince McMahon so much as a business mind and as just what he did. And I think that my thought about him getting his dad's company, I thought he was handed down to him. I did not realize that his father made him buy the company outright. He made him make payments and installments, and he made all the payments. So big ups to that. He was really a businessman and business minded, and he had a direction and he knew how to grow. And I was, like I said, I'm high on I'm high on Vince McMahon right now when it comes to his business mind. Right. And I'm very interested as we continue through watching this series to see how our opinions of him change as he goes through all of his stages. So this is pretty good. It's way better.
Precursor. We have not seen the other episodes. We are just viewing. I already see people shitting on Vince. We ain't got there yet. All right. We break it down episode 1 first. But Coach, your
one
thought.
At a time.
Hey, I rock with it, man. Just to see him come on and be like, he show his human side. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For him to start it off like, listen, I know I don't know how to talk about myself. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people is like that. So he like, I don't know how to talk about myself, but I'm going to try. And to see him, even with that, one thing I pulled out of it was, I think he was still trying to be censored. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to make sure he didn't tell the wrong stories or too much of one story. So he was censored. He's like, no, I can't tell y'all that. I'm not going to talk about that part. Let's keep going. Let's move along. So to show his human side, you know, even though he always came out like he was larger than life, like they kept portraying, but to see that was just his persona and that he was a different individual behind the camera, it was crazy.
Chuck, your thoughts?
I actually felt bad for him at first.
Bad, okay. That's a different perspective. Why?
Him being poor.
Oh, I didn't feel bad about that. We was all poor.
No, I'm saying he didn't even know he didn't even know his dad. No, I'm saying like I mean, I guess that's most people's story, yeah. But you don't know your dad until you're 12, and then when you find out who he is, your whole life changes from being like nothing to having something, and even then, you having something and y'all don't even talk about nothing, and then it's just all business. It's just straight business. Like the only relationship you have with your father is business.
Yep.
I felt sad for him at first. I was like, damn, and then
like got beat on by his stepdad too.
That I felt about. You know what I mean? The stepdad situation. I felt that. I was like, oh, okay. But
I mean, a lot of us are born poor, but you know what I'm saying? It was just like to see that. You know, like Ron said, you thought the business was just handed to him. Like for years, I always thought, all right, his dad started the company, he got the company, and I was like, oh, blah blah blah. But then I'm like, all right, oh shit, he was born this way. Dad beat the shit out of him. He went from nothing to where we see him now. But I know we haven't watched everything yet, but just physically seeing him now, it's like, dog, you had nothing. Yeah. And went to a billionaire company. That's dope. But I didn't know he had to buy the company from his dad either. That was kind of fucked up. But
it'd have been crazy. It'd have been crazy to see a repo, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
One thing that I liked about this is, like I say, we always give our Mount Rushmores, and I'm always and forever have Hulk Hogan on mine. I just like that glimpse so people can see. I know Hogan did wrong in his personal life. I know he did things, but we as a show, just the Holy Shit podcast, we wouldn't be talking right now if it wasn't for Hogan. Wrestlers wouldn't be who they are right now if it wasn't for Hogan. So I'm not forgiving him of his personal things, but I am acknowledging we wouldn't be here without him. The wrestlers, us, he made a huge impact, man. Without his stardom, none of this would be going on, man. So he will always and forever be on my Mount Rushmore.
And I didn't realize how much of an intricate part that Hulk Hogan played in the success of the WWF to even grow in the first place. Like, he was the key player. Him and Andre the Giant were the two key players to even make it what it was. And if without him or Andre the Giant, there would not be a WWE today. So, or like professional wrestling as a whole wouldn't be what it is today. So
100%.
a lot of respect for Hulk Hogan now too for what he did in his past.
A lot of respect for Andre the Giant for me.
Is there anybody else who has a problem with Linda McMahon being 13 when he met her? And he was like already
16.
Adult?
No, he was 16.
No, he was 16. They only got 3 years. They only got 3 years.
3 years older than him.
I was about to say that's normal.
But he met they said he said he met her before he met his father though. He knew her before.
Yeah, that's a normal thing from back then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why like when you talk about the legends of back then and you hear like the age gap to their significant other, it's crazy to hear it now because they highlighting it more now. But back then it was like, whatever.
It was only 3 years.
But one thing I can say I love was the fact that the dad had a vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to distill the vision upon his son, who took the vision to a whole nother level. And he was able to get people to buy in on the vision that he had, i.e. Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, where they was like, look, I see what you want to do. I'm on board. Let's make it happen. And they made it happen, and it became to what it is today. So, that first vision that they had turned into what we are seeing right now today, which is amazing.
Amazing.
The funniest thing to me about this was I was just looking at the dates and the years and stuff in the first WrestleMania and how much controversy was happening before. And if it was derailed, it would have been a wrap. And just the success of that first WrestleMania, which built it to what it is now.
I also like the fact that they said he was a horrible ring announcer, but he seemed to be able to pull out certain things. I was like, the only reason I found it hilarious because I remember Michael Cole a few years ago had said that he got tired of Vince always correcting him what to say. And I was like, for that to happen, I was like, thought it was a funny callback for myself.
And just to give a little comparison to current day, what's going on right now with the Lucha Bros, as we heard today, Tony Khan has added on a year to Ray Phoenix's contract, so they will not be coming to WWE. He was hurt for like 9 months and didn't wrestle. Technically, they just let the clock keep going, but contractually, you owe him 9 months. And because he knows you're going to WWE, Tony Khan has pulled a boss move, and the Lucha Bros will not be heading to WWE for at least almost a year. And watching this documentary, that's something Vince would do. This is business.
Yeah.
This is business. We in competition here. That's what I kind of got from that, man.
Smart man.
Smart man.
Like and I didn't realize how close to the beginning of WWF to when I started watching wrestling. Like, I started watching when I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
And that's when it really, really blew up. So my dad was introducing me to wrestling when it was just blowing up. So that's kind of cool to see that. I'm like, I remember them. That's how I was sitting there watching.
Any last thoughts on this show?
I cannot wait for episode 2.
Yeah,
episode 2. We're going to break it down. We see everybody else online breaking down the whole thing. We're going to give y'all episode by episode so y'all can see how our feelings change. Right now, we high on Vince McMahon. We feel bad for you. We like your struggle, but we'll see what happens episode 2.
Right. Vince going to turn into R. Kelly.
Dog,
I don't even want to go to I want to end it here. I don't even want to get there, man. I'll be quite honest. From what I've been seeing online, let me just have my thoughts the way I want them. Jesus
Like you don't want to
Christ.
see the fall.
Right. Man, it's coming.
we know
I'm
it's a fall, but let us graze over it.
That's the
Crazy.
worst part
We just
about.
gonna enjoy this episode 1 and the birth of WWF.
That's the worst part about watching like documentaries where
Especially
you
when you
lived in
know.
the era because you know how the ending is gonna go.
Right.
Oh,
Like I
man.
saw the Aaron Hernandez movie on some show. I was like, oh, I can't watch that, man. I
Can't
know
watch
where
that.
that's
Know how it
going.
ends.
Yeah.
Hey, I was watching
Yeah.
the Florida Gators, and I'm like, Tebow is not that man no more.
Right.
Tebow ain't him no more.
Right. But
He was him
episode
then, though.
1, if we had to give episode 1 a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, Ryan T, what are you giving it?
I mean, it was excellent. I give it a 10. It was enough nostalgia mixed with information that I didn't know, to where I learned something, and I was able to be like, oh, I remember that. So I'm giving it a 10. It was an excellent job.
Perfect 10 for Ryan T. Coach, your thoughts?
I'm with Ryan, man. I'm gonna give it a perfect 10 as well. I didn't even know Vince had a humpback, man. You know what I mean? But I saw him in that ring. I was like, oh snap. So yeah, the perfect 10. Let's go.
Perfect 10. Chuck.
What third the emotion?
What was that?
I'll third the emotion.
Oh,
He
3
gives it a 10.
10s. I'm gonna do the same. Perfect 10 for me. I enjoyed this from top to bottom.
40.
Get the 40 piece from the Holy Shhh Podcast. We'll see y'all. Episode 2 coming soon.
Media.